Hey everybody, welcome to Camp Chat. This is episode 3. This is my first remote guest. You want to introduce yourself? Oh, I'm Latham,
My name's Keiko, and I live in Boise, Idaho.
and I'm broadcasting from Alexandria, Virginia. Welcome, Keiko.
Thank you.
Keiko and I met uh, at a house party, after party in Washington, D.C. with our very good friends Kartik and Corey, and we just chatted for a bit. And since then, we've only hung out one other time at a festival,
hmm
and it was pretty rad. And I went back to Alexandria, and Kiko went back to Boise, and we've stayed in touch. And here we are, our third face-to-face conversation,
That's true.
interaction.
Yes. Well, technically more than that, but at least as far as isolated
Yeah.
meetings. Yeah.
Well, I have a
Drinking that
couple of things.
protein.
It's yogurt.
Yeah, yeah.
It's pretty much nothing in here but protein.
Right.
So I'm on an all, yeah, as you know, I'm on an all yogurt diet. How
Have
about
are you familiar with the Ninja Creamy?
the what?
The Ninja Creamy, like Ninja, like the home appliances brand.
The blender?
hmm
I'm not.
So the Creamy is essentially a blender that is for frozen products, if you will. I use it to make high protein, low calorie ice cream. That's what Kiko's Cottage is based off of.
Wait, what's
And
cottage?
wait, you don't know about Kiko's Cottage?
I only know about your falafel truck.
Oh, yeah, yeah. Kiko's Cottage is my cottage cheese ice cream business that I was born before even the falafel thing. Yeah, I haven't fully like launched it yet, but I think um it's been a long time in the works, and potentially this upcoming spring I'll do the farmers market, but it's basically um the short elevator pitch is that it's fits the niche between regular ice cream and say like froyo, that froyo just tastes kind of watery, it's not healthy,
Never had
and
yeah.
like frozen yogurt.
Okay. That
Like
doesn't
they
sound
have
super.
places that around, what do they call, like there's a place called Pinkberry. It's like it's a chain.
Is it like
And
is it like sherbet? Sherbet?
no, no. It's like basically zero or very low fat and kind of soft servy like, but it doesn't taste very good. Doesn't taste very good.
Yeah, it
And
doesn't.
there's no, I mean, I don't think they're using, I'm not sure what kind of yogurt they're using, but it's certainly not like a Greek yogurt that's super high in protein. And so Kiko's Cottage is actually genuinely good. Like it's creamy, um, and just actually tastes really fucking good. But it's high protein, low calorie. Like basically, if I make it with fruit, then it will have the natural sugars from the fruit. But I'll use like stevia or some other natural like sugar replacement, and
That sounds
um, it's really fucking good. Like people that
this
I've given it to are like, "Damn, this is really good," and you don't feel guilty about it. And depending on how I make it, I can make it like really high protein. Like I could make a normal pint of Ben and Jerry's is like 16 ounces. The containers I'm using are 24 ounces. And for that, I've been making ones that are like, and I could definitely get it lower than this, but generally around 400 calories for the entire 24 ounces, and it's got like 60 grams of protein. So,
60?
yeah.
Let me
So
see what
it's
I'm
like,
looking at here. This thing is 20 grams of protein for about 200 calories.
okay, so there must be sugar added in that.
It's not added, but it just has like natural yogurt sugars.
And fat, is there any fat?
Yeah, there's some fat. Yeah. So you got 50% more protein then?
Pretty, yeah, I mean, like if you look at just plain Greek yogurt,
Hmm.
it's like the one I get from Costco is it's 100 calories per 18 grams of protein. So it's almost,
Yeah.
like, yeah, so you can get products that are that high. So it's not quite that high because I'll use some almond milk or something like that, or the cottage cheese isn't quite as high as Greek yogurt. It's depending on the fat level of the cottage cheese. When I started at first, I was using like the kind of 2% cottage cheese, but I use the full fat one now. So it's like 110 calories for 13 grams of protein.
Love cottage cheese.
Yeah. Well, and then I use the immersion blender, so it's super smooth, which that's generally people's complaint about cottage cheese is
Yeah, a little
whether
bit
it's the
lumpy.
texture or whatever.
Is it refrigerated or frozen like ice cream?
It's frozen like ice cream.
Nice.
Yeah. But it's real. There's so much fucking science behind the science of ice cream because you're freezing it, of course, below um, freezing point, and depend like traditional ice cream can stay soft and scoopable because of high fat content and high sugar content, both of which lower the freezing point. Just like salt will lower the freezing point of water, sugar does that as well. And they use other little additives and stabilizers and emulsifiers to get it to where it's cold, but it's scoopable and still soft. But because I'm removing tons of fat and pretty much all of the sugar, except for the sugar that naturally comes in some milk that I use, even though I have done some almond milk versions. Um, it really like if you just throw it in the freezer, it turns into a fucking block of just ice. And it's really hard to get the right consistency. And this is kind of where the Ninja Creamy comes in, is it's got this blade that spins super fucking fast and you pre-freeze it to where it is like a block of ice, but then it spins really, really fast and essentially shaves it to a point where it starts to kind of resemble ice cream. Usually the first shaving, it's almost like a powder. And then I'll like kind of push it down and then do it again. And then it forms this almost um slightly stiffer than soft serve, but a little bit closer to soft serve consistency than hard ice cream. And that's the other thing is like traditional ice cream is served at I think like between 10 and 15 degrees Fahrenheit. And then gelatos around like 20 degrees, soft serves maybe like 25 or something. And the warmer that things are, the more flavor that there is. Like if you take a candy bar and you throw it in the fridge or the freezer and you take a bite of it, it's for sure not going to have the depth and nuance of flavor as if it was at room temperature. So the warmer things are, that's also like a little key behind how I've been preparing it and serving it is that I'm serving it somewhere around 24, 25 degrees. So it's
A big market for this, like high protein ice cream.
yeah.
I don't know if
And
that
they're
exists.
already kind of it. So there's actually I thought Protein Pints is a company that
Okay.
in like Kroger, um, they sell that, but it's $9 for a fucking pint of ice cream. And it's even the protein is I think it's 300 calories for the pint and it's 30 grams of protein, which is definitely higher than most others. But one,
That's extremely, extremely expensive.
it was so expensive
Yeah.
and it didn't taste good. It did not taste good. So, um,
How do they get the protein out? What's like their method?
um, I don't know if they were using like a protein powder because that's how I've been doing it is I'll
Okay.
use a protein powder.
Yeah.
Um, but
Probably.
yeah, I've been as I've been thinking about the idea of what do I really want to, because I really do believe in this concept, but the difficulty of bringing it to life goes up exponentially if I start thinking about having it in a pint in stores,
Oh
for a
yeah,
variety of
shelf
reasons.
stable distribution,
Yep,
like
yep.
the
The
difficulty
recipe
goes
would
up
have to be a little bit different.
exponentially.
Um, and
Yeah.
so I've that's kind of where I've settled is like, okay, I'm basically just gonna kind of make this in real time and serve it to people. But then the return on your investment is very low. And that's not really why I'm doing this, is for money. But at the end of the day, I need to get something out of it. And then going back to like the farmers market, I think it's like 8 a.m. to 2 p.m. So even if people were like, I don't think people are really going to be trying to buy ice cream those first few hours. So now I'm starting to think Kiko's Cottage in general will, like, because I make a bunch of other products that have cottage cheese in them. I've made egg bites, I've made protein bites. I use like a little muffin tray and do that. Um, like these kind of almost brownie kind of bars where instead of for so Amanda, my roommate, kind of like former partner, still we're like I'm extremely close with her. She's gluten free, and so I would try to make it was shit almost like 10 years ago at this point that there was someone who was very health conscious, and they made these chocolate chip cookies where there was no flour, there was just banana, and they were really really good. And so ever since then, I've kind
You
of
like you like banana bread cookies, kind of.
yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
So I've made that. I've made like a banana. I chopped up some carrot, and then did carrot, chia seeds, banana, cottage cheese, a tiny bit of almond flour, um, egg, and just made these kind of like and I think protein powder I threw in there too. So these just kind of like I don't know, vanilla-ish, tasty, high protein, but low like impact on your what is it? Your
The gluten,
um
too much.
well yeah, the gluten, but also the your like glucose sensitivity, like it raises your
Hypoglycemic.
yeah, the hypoglycemic thing. I forgot there's the term of things that just have like a high glycemic impact or something like that. It really, depending on the kinds of carbs and everything, they can really spike it. And that for me has always just triggered wanting to eat more of it. And it doesn't really like, sure, I guess if I'm running a marathon, that's great. But um, we generally don't need really high amounts of uh, glucose just dumping in our system. And then when you keep doing this, it leads to insulin sensitivity and resistance. Um, and it's just all of this is kind of in support of my efforts to get like binge eating under control and get to a place where I can still eat genuinely good food, but just that's a lot healthier for me.
Nice. Really taking ownership, like
Yeah,
making the foods. Do you cook a lot?
I do. I do like cooking. Yeah.
Nice.
That's one of the natural talents I guess I would say I have is I can just kind of as we all tend to do in a given scenario kind of overthink. That is one situation where I kind of can just I don't have to consciously think about anything. I just kind of intuitively know things that will go well together. I open up my fridge and I'm like, I see that, and then I see that, and then I see that, and I just kind of throw shit together. And it 9 times out of 10 ends up being really good.
That's the exact opposite of how I do it.
Yeah,
I need everything exactly. Like we get the HelloFresh meal
measured
kit,
out and
comes with the little ingredients all pre-measured. So you
mm-hmm.
don't even have to go to the grocery store and be like, oh, how many leaves do I need? How much
Yeah.
powder do I need? Like, I don't even like doing that.
And that's kind of how I started was just to give me a base, but then I've slowly moved into trusting my eyes with what I'm putting in there and just kind of yeah, like leaning into that just kind of like intuitive knowing of what is going to go well together and using either a little bit less or a little bit more of one ingredient or throwing in ingredients that weren't even called for. Um,
I'm taking little tiny baby steps in that direction. Like I've gotten a good sense. I don't like the calls for a cup or half a cup or a certain amount of
right.
salt. I just kind of do a little bit of salt, taste it, get a
Yep.
sense of, I don't measure as much anymore, but I think we did add a couple extra ingredients the other night, maybe a hot sauce or something. I don't know. We went crazy.
Yeah. What'd you make?
Uh, Burritos.
Okay.
Like so we made pico de gallo, and then we cooked up some beef in cast iron, put some peppers in there, some chili powder,
Mm.
and then we got the tortillas and we folded it all up burrito style, and then cooked it in the pan with some oil and kind of seared the burritos shut. We
Ooh,
put
okay.
put some rice in there too. It's pretty good.
One thing you can do that's kind of I did when I worked at the because I told you about like the beginning of this year and then right before I came to Shambhala, I was working at the assisted living facility as the cook
So,
and then the kitchen manager.
oh, as the kitchen manager? I don't remember that.
Yeah, so for like January through April, I was just cooking part-time, and
Okay.
then I took the role as the kitchen manager where that became full-time. Um, and anyways,
But that's the
one of
job that
the
you left right before
yeah,
she ends.
it is, yeah. Yeah. I had learned it was difficult and I had learned um a lot of what I felt like I squeezed most of the juice out of it. Sure, there was a little bit more to squeeze, but um it's you're squeezing harder to get less out. So,
What were you getting out of it?
um, resilience of just letting the stress of, um, like people, when you are responsible for their food, especially people that are in an old folks' home where they have almost no control of over their life,
Yeah.
this is one thing that they do have an element of control over or try to exert control over, and they would allow there was the ability for them to walk up literally to the kitchen door and just like talk to us, and people would complain.
A lot of too
And
many cooks, literally.
yes, yes, and there was so that, but then it was my first time managing people, so it was learning to communicate better and just take more responsibility and ownership. um And yeah, yeah. So that's kind of what I was getting out of it.
It's funny, my kids are the same way. Like they don't have a lot of control in their life. They go to school, they do their homework, they sit at home. So my son in particular is very particular about what he eats. Like there has to be the right amount of mayo on the sandwich. The order has to be perfect.
Hmm.
Yeah, it's all got to be just right. which which annoyed me a little bit, but then I started thinking about it more, and I realized that is one of the only things that he has control over. He can make sure that this little sandwich is the way he wants it. So,
And that's interesting that you call that out because one thing that um, I saw and a lot of people that I worked with called out is that when you get older, you start to resemble and act like a kid again, like a toddler. And I wonder if just that underlying thread between the two is the lack of control.
yeah,
And
all together, just like you gathered them all in kindergarten or preschool, you gather them all
uh-huh.
together. They can't. It's
And if something isn't just the way they want it,
totally.
they complain and they're like, I don't want anything. Um,
Yeah.
yeah. Hmm.
I guess I might be annoyed too if I was just sitting around the entire day without really any sort of, if I can't get up or I can't
Mm-hmm.
leave, like it'd be really frustrating. Because
Mm-hmm.
by the time they get there, it's because they can't live at home. So they don't really,
Correct. And
yeah,
well,
be
and some people are
really
like,
frustrated.
because where I worked, there was a memory care unit where they definitely couldn't take care of themselves.
Yeah.
And there's other ones that probably could take care of themselves, but um, like this one lady, the lady who was the head of like the kind of committee, um, like resident committee, the main where the kitchen was, and the people that we actually served most of, because we would make food for the whole complex, but then we would put stuff in for like the memory care units, we'd put them in carts, bring them over, drop them off, and then the caregivers would serve the people in the memory care units. Whereas in the main building, we had servers that would like literally, there'd be like 40 plus people, and literally walking out of the kitchen and then serving them all. So it was kind of more of like us that was responsible for it. And where was I going with that? Um, what did you just say?
Well, I was gonna say that a video game came out recently that's supposed to make you feel like someone who has Alzheimer's.
Mm.
And I just watched like the trailer, but one of the things is that you're just sitting looking out at like the rain come down, and then suddenly it's morning, and there's like two people in your face, like, "Are you
Oh
okay?"
wow.
Like what? Like trying to like, and it's it's gone. You don't know. You're trying to figure out like what happened, what you missed. Like maybe
Huh.
you knocked something over and people are confused. Yeah, that would
Oh,
be
that's what I
very
was
trippy.
saying. Is this one lady? I think she had a heart attack, and then her brother, when she was kind of like incapacitated in the hospital, and this is just her story, but from her mouth, who knows the extent of the truth, that he like gave away or sold her pets, and like then kind of like sold or rented out her house, and then kind of forced her into moving into this place. Um,
Yeah,
so
we
I
were
don't know.
son and I were watching the TV show Hoarders,
Yeah,
and they had to go in and clean out this lady's. She had 160 cats in her house,
Jesus
and
Christ.
half of them were dead,
Oh my God.
and they had to clean it out. And then she
Yeah,
couldn't live there anymore because the landlord was like, "I'm done." The
right,
house
right.
is. They actually had to condemn the house. So
I'm not surprised.
two sides to every story.
Right, exactly.
Yeah.
Yeah, and she was the one who I could tell would not necessarily be the most honest about how she arrived there. But yeah, there's certain people that I think,
That's
and
nice that you talked to
some
them,
of it
though.
is also um just the social aspect of like, sure, maybe I can live at home, but if I'm just alone all the time, even if I'm not talking to anybody, if I'm sitting in a dining room with other people, that feels better.
That's
Like
true. That's a good
I know
point.
for
Yeah.
myself, if I'm
Yeah.
there's a massive difference between truly being home alone
Mhm.
versus someone being here but just downstairs.
Yeah.
It feels a lot better just having people around.
You know the feeling of like when you're in bed and you can hear people bustling in the rest of the house, like a little
Hmm.
bit of laughter, some things tinkling. Like it's just such a good feeling, even though there's no one in the room with you. And yeah,
When I'm in bed, usually I'm more in the like these people are making noise. I can't sleep.
I guess it depends how loud it is.
Yeah,
Did we talk about the babies in my hallway?
no.
Did I talk? Oh, maybe that was somebody else. We have a lot of young children in this building, and the walls are very thin. And these kids
Mm,
go careening up and down the hall. They're not verbal yet, so it's just like these primitive cries. I find it quite frustrating myself, but
hmm.
they're babies. What are you supposed to do?
It'd be so hard for me to move back into an apartment. Um, Given the right situation, I don't think it would be that bad. But that's outside of your control. You might have babies next to you, or you might have people that aren't respectful. And honestly, I've always thought of it from the perspective of less that I'm concerned about what other people are gonna do, but if I want to blast my music at 3 in the morning, I am not going to do that because I am respectful. But I want to be able to do that. And so it's more of just like I want my freedom to be able to do what I want to do.
You would
Um,
have, I mean, yeah, ideally. Uh, It's just, more cost effective to stack everyone up and squeeze them
For
in.
sure, for sure. Especially when you live in a much more expensive place like you.
Yeah, it's crazy around here, man. I don't understand how people even pay rent. Like,
Mm-hmm.
there's people who make, yeah, I guess they sort of like just pack it in, I guess. Like whole families, including like
Yeah, people are
parent,
starting to,
generations, like consolidating. Yeah.
and that's um, there was something I watched a podcast a couple of months ago, and essentially there was a lot of things talked about, but the main takeaway was how within us as humans, we have a lot of feedback loops and like mechanisms to kind of get us back on track. Um, and I'm now thinking of how you were just saying, like, kind of how things are so expensive and we're living together now. I'm almost looking at that as a feedback mechanism to get us back to community. Is like capitalism is very kind of anti-community.
I don't
And
like this community. I'm sorry. I hope
which
nobody in
one?
the building. There's a few people I like. Lexi, if you're watching this, you're awesome. Obviously, there's people I've gotten to know, but honestly, I mean, they're noisy. They're not very friendly.
Sure.
Yeah, not,
But
not the
it's
kind of community I want to be in.
yes, but it's pushing you
What's up?
in the direction.
Your homework? My daughter finished her homework.
Yay! But yeah, it's pushing you in the direction of um being like, okay, I have to live together with other people. Then yeah, I would want to be intentional about who I'm living with. But at the end of the day, just getting us back, it's almost like the universe's way of like even though capitalism is trying to get away from universal love and compassion and all of that, the universe still has mechanisms that like it builds into capitalism when it gets too extreme and away
Master
from it. Now we
forces.
have to live back together again. And then we're going to realize, oh, wait a minute, I didn't need any of this shit anyways. I just needed other people. And yeah.
I will say that I lived in a apartment building that was completely silent a couple of years ago in Seattle, and I would never see anyone exiting or entering the building. Hallways
Hmm.
were silent, and I just felt so like alone. At least there are people here, even if I
Yeah.
don't feel like they're my people, you know?
Yeah. Being that can be a source of even more lonely than being alone is being surrounded by people, but feeling like you don't relate or connect or people don't want to talk. Um, that's kind of a lonelier feeling than just having nobody can be.
I mean, it's not, I say good morning to people. I've gotten to know a few people. It's fine. It's just, it's very dense. It's very dense. Maybe I need a more happy medium, like maybe a townhouse with a cul-de-sac, and I can go out and
Mm-hmm.
walk around and find the people walking their dogs or whatever, and their babies aren't coming up right to my doorstep and howling through my windows. Like
Mm-hmm.
a happy medium. Hold on, my daughter, I need something. You want to come say hi, Emma?
Yes.
My friend Kiko.
Sup, Keiko?
Diana
Yo.
was my first guest on Camp Chat ever two
Oh
episodes
shit.
ago.
Okay.
You want to sit down?
Yeah.
Eating some dinner? She's eating our leftover burritos. Got
I
some
hear
rice.
I hear you're an artist.
Like, how do you heat this up, though? Like the microwave or something?
Well, you wouldn't want to heat the pico de gallo up, but I guess it's fine.
Jeez. Okay.
It's fine. It'll be fine. I would put it in the air fryer if I were you for about 4 minutes. Make sure it's set to air fry and not
Oh,
toast.
that's one thing I was gonna say is when I was cooking, one thing that I made.
Just tell Alexa, turn it all the way up and then tell Alexa to set a timer for 4 minutes.
Have you ever had a chimichanga?
Yeah, for sure.
So a way you can do that without like fully frying it is
Hmm.
you just brush butter on top of the burrito, and then you throw it in the oven, and then it crisps it up, and it's really good. But you don't
Good.
have to mess with oil, and it's
Yeah.
slightly healthier, but
Okay.
still tastes really fucking good.
Thought about putting it in the oven.
Mm-hmm.
Dude, potatoes are the worst. Anytime we have to cook potatoes, it's like 45 minutes, just more like
Yeah,
45, just to soften the potatoes. And then you
yeah.
got to mash them and then put them into whatever else you're cooking.
Mm-hmm.
Or if you're roasting them, 45 minutes. The recipe's like 20 minutes, roast them up. No, it takes.
Well, yeah, if you keep it whole, for sure.
Well, I mean, no, we chop it up into like wedges, like potato
Okay.
wedges.
Then
Still
you
take.
must not be doing it because they do take a while, but as long as you're doing like 400, 425,
Mhm.
and they're not massive chunks, then they should be roasted in 25 minutes.
All right, maybe we need to crank it up.
Yeah. Plus, I
Cooking
always
tips.
love the crunchy bits, like things that are just a little bit burnt. Like I made some buffalo chicken on the grill last night, and I like where the outsides get that little bit of char on them.
Definitely. What's going on with your shirt?
It's just a bunch of like hippie shit. It's a band stick figure.
I've never heard of stick figure.
They're so good. Uh,
I have a
it's
friend who's trying to get me into fish.
oh, okay, yeah. They're so it's not exactly the same, but um, fish is. Had do you know of fish
Yeah,
or
I'm aware of them.
yeah,
Jam band.
okay, yeah.
Yeah.
Um, so stick figure is just a reggae group.
Oh, nice.
Jam bands, reggae, and EDM are like my go-tos.
Okay. Did you know that reggae is a direct ancestor of drum and bass?
No, not exactly. You talked to me about it a little bit of how drum and bass was in Jamaica, and then that's where like the gun fingers I think came from.
Yeah. Well, that was like the sound culture. It wasn't drum and bass yet. But then the
Okay.
Jamaican immigrants, I don't know exactly why, there's a big wave or something. They came to London and brought their sound system culture, and then house music got involved, and the London EDM producers took this beautiful sound culture and turned it into jungle, and then that quickly evolved into drum and bass. So it's like a English Jamaican fusion.
Okay. Yeah. It's drum and bass is very it's so interesting how I was like
I don't mean
educating
to turn the
Amanda
conversation to that. I feel like every conversation I ever have with anyone inevitably
ends
goes into
up
that
goes
direction.
into drum and
But
bass.
you brought up reggae, so
Yeah, it's true. Yeah, it's I was trying to educate Amanda on drum and bass the other day of how there's just that like that background kind of like hi-hat sort of like quick noise that is just
well,
um
it's syncopated. That's what really
okay,
gets me. Ever since we got ska into reggae into drum and bass, the syncopation is like the constant through all of that. It's like ba 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 ba. I've
yeah,
always liked the syncopation. Always that particular rhythm
right.
gets me for some reason.
It's just it's very interesting how like I don't know outside of drum and bass. I mean, obviously reggae has a very consistent sound. Um, but drum and bass, like it all has some form of that background um syncopation or beat or whatever. Like if it doesn't have that, it's not drum and bass.
Yeah, exactly. That's the signature sound.
Yeah.
They have something called 4x4 drum and bass, which is the same tempo, but they take out the syncopation. It's on the beat. And every
Hmm.
time they put on a 4x4 track in a set or something, I just stop dancing. Like I can't.
Yeah.
It's just house. It's just fast house at that point.
Okay.
But that doesn't happen very much. It's normally just yeah,
Yeah.
yeah.
Do you see Sub Focus is coming out with a new album?
I did, yeah. I just saw Subfocus a
Yeah.
week ago
I'm sure you probably heard some tracks from it then.
in a warehouse. Oh yeah,
Yeah.
he was putting out some of his new stuff, definitely. Yeah. Metric just put out a new album. Delta Heavies has three new tracks out, three or four new tracks.
Hmm.
Yeah. It's a golden age of drum and bass.
There's actually someone here in Boise who I think I met him I knew of him, but I officially met him at Shambhala, even though he's here in Boise. And he just started a page, Facebook page slash group called, I think, Boise Jungle Tribe. And it's about like drum and bass.
Should
So
go out to some of his events.
I will. I
Yeah.
will.
Well,
What do you have back on your little no, the other side. Yeah. That
this
stick.
thing? No,
Yeah, is that well both of them?
this thing?
Yeah.
Show you. This is, I don't know what you would call it.
Oh my God.
Isn't that cool?
That's so cool.
With the little eyes.
Yeah.
So I had a massive collection of Dungeons and Dragons miniatures in Seattle
Uh-huh.
because we used to play in person. I used to go to like a game store every weekend and I'd play. And then I met
Uh-huh.
some guys and we started playing at home. We played for like a year before COVID hit. And I had all these sick miniatures and I gave most of them away uh, over the summer this year. And I just kept the ones that I really loved. So that's one of them.
And then is that like a Star Wars character above him or something?
This dude?
Yeah.
Uh,
Is that Totoro or whatever, however you pronounce it behind you too? Oh shit.
so this is Bahamut. He's an ancient symbol of moderation and balance,
Okay.
and he also happens to be used as an icon by the Satanic Temple.
Uh-huh.
Do you know about the Satanic Temple?
Ish. I know that
Brian's
they get a bad rap.
okay.
So the Satanic Temple is they don't have they don't have any supernatural beliefs. They're essentially a political organization that advocates for freedom of religion. So, for example, if Christians want to get a Ten Commandments installation put into like a public courthouse, which happens a lot, the Satanic Temple will show up and say, okay, well, if they get Ten Commandments, we get to put this thing in the courthouse too.
Hmm.
And then it's a whole big thing and it makes the news. And eventually they're like, okay, well, you know what? You're actually right. And then they don't put anything in there. So that's the
Okay.
point. We're trying
Good.
to, we're
Good
trying
on the
to
Satanists.
we're trying to resist the merging of church and state.
Yeah. To the at least any further
Yeah, exactly.
merging. Yeah.
Exactly.
Since it's already very merged. Yeah.
Yep. Yeah. And I have, yeah, that's Totoro right there.
Is that also Baphomet over your other
Yes.
shoulder?
That's
Yeah,
also
yeah.
Buffy. I like how the lights behind make his eyes glow red.
Yeah, red.
Yeah. What's that blue banner up there?
So that is they're like kind of a pop reggae band that I really like called Iration.
I've never even heard of pop reggae.
Yeah, I mean it's definitely reggae sound, but it's a bit more it would be a bit more palatable, I would say, for people.
Yeah.
A little bit more upbeat. Um,
So not
and
yeah.
like the singer, it just has like a good voice. It's not, he doesn't have like the music itself, like the instrumentation is kind of reggae-ish, but the voice of the guy is not really.
Nice.
Um, and it's actually a engine block, is what's on there. And their album was called Automatic. So that's what it says underneath Iration. And it's just a towel that I got from them, and I'm like, I'm not going to use this. That's kind of, I like the color and I like how it looks. So
Yeah, it caught my eye immediately.
yeah.
I think pop can be added to almost anything and to improve it.
Hmm.
So jungle turned into drum and bass in the 90s, and then in the early 2000s they started putting pop into it. And that it really blew up in popularity after they started doing that.
Have you heard reggae drum and bass mashups?
No,
Yeah, there's some really good ones.
that'd be sick.
I don't remember them off of the top of my head, but The
Okay,
couple of times I've heard him, I really liked him.
check it out.
Makes sense now. It'd be because I heard them before I knew the connection between the two.
Cool.
Okay.
Well, we talked for almost 45 minutes.
And now it's 4:44. If you're into the
Six,
astrology thing, like
4 here.
it must mean something. Oh yeah, that's true.
So I have a affection for base 60 instead of base 10,
Okay.
which borders on numerology. Like I always try to do everything in 12s if I can,
Okay.
or something that goes into 12 or is a multiple of 12,
Yeah.
which works out well because 12 actually breaks down so much better than 10. Like
Does it?
what's one fourth of 10? What's one third of 10? What's one sixth of 10? You can't it's you can't do anything with
Oh
10.
yeah, I see. I see.
It's just a hard number to work with.
Hmm.
Yeah.
Makes sense.
So we have 10 because the Romans were like 10 fingers, let's make 10.
Right.
But 1,000 years before them, the Sumerians used base 12 and base 60, and the way they counted to an increment was they would use their thumb and they'd count each one of their knuckles,
Ah, okay.
their 12 knuckles.
Yeah, yeah.
And then they could go to 24 on the other hand.
Ah, okay.
That's the way it should be. The Romans screwed it up.
Kind of makes sense.
Yeah,
Yeah.
fortunately the Sumerians got it into the time system. Otherwise we'd really be
Oh yeah, yeah, yeah.
yeah, base 60 for time.
I guess that's true.
Yep.
Damn, that just hit me how we do all keep track of time the same. Like our calendars are different in terms of months and all of that. But as far as like time,
Never
it's
thought
like
about that.
24 hours. Like every it doesn't matter. Like no there's no I mean, apart from like daylight savings time or whatever, but everyone has the 24 hours in the day.
Wonder if that's true.
You're right, it might not be, but I've certainly never heard of it not being true.
I think it would have to be like a hunter-gatherer tribe somewhere
Yeah,
has their own time system because you can't operate with the rest of society. Like you might be able to have your own,
cool.
months or whatever, but you
Right.
can't have your own days.
No.
And you can't be like, oh, we're going to talk at 2 o'clock. Oh, is that your, like, well, we don't
Yeah,
use o'clock.
right.
We use 3 bells or whatever.
Yeah, it's so interesting to think about how that must have propagated across civilization. I guess it's the what do they say? The like history is not written by the person that loses. History is written by the victor. So,
Well, the losers do sometimes retreat and write their books.
yeah,
They're not always completely obliterated and crushed into the dust.
true.
Not in the modern age, anyway.
But it's not yeah, their things generally aren't accepted as um the de facto standard going forward, I guess.
All right, my friend, I think I'm gonna let you go.
Okay. Well, it was good to chat with you.
Yeah, it was great.
Yeah.
Take care,
Have
dude.
fun with your burrito or whatever you're gonna eat for dinner.
We will.
Yeah.
Peace.
Later.